The Federal Aviation Administration, it's supposed to keep the skies safe for us, but the agency can't seem to figure out how drones fit into the equation. Congress had asked the FAA to come up with rules to govern the use of non-military drones, but the deadline was missed. Bloomberg's editor-at-large, Cory joins us now with a look at regulation gone wrong, or not gone at all.
Not gone at all. You know, so it's been 3 years since Congress asked the FAA to come up with regulations around drones. And they haven't got the job done. Now, it's been complicated. They've issued, it's a complicated and very rapidly changing world because there's so much innovation going on in the world of drones and so many new types of drones. But they have been so far behind the curve that they haven't been able to figure out how to issue rules about drones. They've issued a lot of sort of permits to allow companies to try new things. But the end result is that there's now a growing backlog of companies trying to find new ways to apply drones to business, and the FAA is not giving them guidance.
So are they, I mean, if you don't have regulation, do you just go ahead and do what you wanted to do, kind of ask forgiveness rather than permission, a la Uber, or do you...
A la Matt Miller as a teenager?
Or
grown man.
Or do you go and look for countries that are more business-friendly in regards to using drones?
So what we see a lot of big businesses like Amazon doing is just going overseas, saying we're going to have to develop this somewhere else because we don't have the guidance we've asked for from this government, so we're just going to go somewhere else and take our business to another country to develop that. And so you see a lot of the drone startups in America actually frustrated by this. We're about to talk to someone on Bloomberg Advantage Radio. Not that anyone should stop watching TV while you're on the TV, but afterwards they can turn to Bloomberg Advantage Radio and listen to.
I'm going to be honest with you right now. I even personally prefer radio to television as far as getting my news.
Well,
I'm not sure if I should say that.
As our viewers looking at us. No, you're lovely to look at. But my point is that with the drone business, the drone business is actually moving overseas to develop in a lot of places. The startups are having a difficult time of it and furious about it because they really want to grow this business. They want to do it domestically, and they're not getting the guidance they want from the FAA. And the other aspect of this is that we're seeing lots of unregulated drone accidents, a great increase, because there's tremendous fascination with the drones, period, and the technology around drones, that we're seeing a rise in the number of incidents of drone safety issues. And the FAA has been recording these dutifully. They haven't given us guidance on how we should actually operate drones.
Now, these are serious safety incidents? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Or they're drones crashing into the seats at the U.S. Open. But the great concern here is that, well...
Was anyone seriously injured there?
No, but...
Okay,
But a drone that can crash into a seat and might, wound your hand will have an entirely different effect if it lands inside of an engine of a jet. And so because the FAA hasn't issued the rules that the Congress demanded of them 3 years ago, the drone operators and the drone businesses are concerned that there's going to be an accident and it's going to lead them, Congress to then demand that drones just be banned. And that's sort of the opposite approach. Because you have use of drones in agriculture, you have use of drones in examining pipelines, you have potential uses of drones in all kinds of businesses that are not being, those businesses not being grown because of this lack of sort of guidance from the FAA on what should be legal to keep the dangerous activity from happening.
And just the bottom line as to why the FAA hasn't delivered these regulations. Is it saying it's underfunded? Is it saying it doesn't have enough staff?
They say they're studying it, and they say they're looking at it, and they haven't come up with the answers that the industry is begging for. But the industry is certainly begging. There's a lot of venture capital money going to these businesses because there are all these uses of drones that could, not just the fantasy of DHL and Amazon doing deliveries, but examining pipelines, for example. All pipeline carriers are required to examine all of their pipelines on a regular basis. And right now they fly Cessnas over these things with special equipment to detect leaks. That's very expensive and very inefficient. They can do this stuff with drones, examining agriculture, looking at what's happening in crops in distant areas. The great advantages to using drones in these businesses, and these businesses aren't growing the way that they could because the guidance from the FAA has been lacking.